The Absa Cape Epic, a story of unpredictability set against the grandest of backdrops. Its rugged, dusty terrain and searing temperatures with loose climbs and treacherous descents are designed to test every athlete, from the pros looking for the win to the serious amateurs just hoping to make it home every day. Teams of two, some with race-proven partnerships, others still new, all share the same goal: overcome the untamed and claim the top step of the Absa Cape Epic podium. Every year is a test of supreme endurance, mental fortitude, skill, determination and a bit of luck. 2018 was no different. Over 650 kilometres, 13,500 metres of ascent from Table Mountain in South African national parks through Arabella Wine Estate in Robertson to Worcester and Val de Vie Estates in Paarl. This year the prologue returned to Africa's most recognisable icon in South African national parks for a short and also very sharp race. While it may appear serene and tranquil, its trails are guaranteed to take riders' breath away with sheer gradients and treacherous descent. It all started with a 20-kilometre assault up the slopes of this natural wonder of the world and required all to rapidly ascend 600 metres before returning to the historic grounds of University of Cape Town.
We've learned that the race is so unpredictable. To put all your eggs in one basket is almost a waste. So one day at a time, just managing things as they come.
Team Spur rode powerfully, the Swiss-Belgian pair matching each other for what, and showing without doubt they were going to be a force to be reckoned with over the course of the coming week.
Yeah, we're really super happy about today. I mean, I don't quite have that intensity, and I really had to hang on Gita's wheel, who was also riding super strong today. I mean, she's racing this race for the first time this year, and I mean, she just delivered a really good performance.
And Team Ascenders Health rode strongly yet conservatively with a pair of Last and Strauss hot on their heels. But the honour of starting stage one in the orange leader's jersey belonged to Langvad and Courtney as they held on to the fastest prologue winning time.
We had a strategy on how we wanted to approach this stage, and we actually executed our plan to perfection. So this is as fast as we could go, and having a gap of 1:12 after today is nice, but still it's 7 more days to go, so it's quite open.
So an exciting start, but would these teams have the firepower to hang on until the end? Countless challenges still lay ahead. Stage 1 was an intense affair, and there was nowhere to hide as the teams up front traded blows through the most rocky and remote trails in Robertson. Temperament was even further tested by the dusty conditions that made visibility tricky and getting clean breaths of air hard. Even though Team Spur was determined to mark their competitors' every tactic, Langvad and Courtney put in a massive attack and rapidly opened up a gap in the Takap climb, a steep, rocky and arduous ascent that saps the legs for pleasure. Once the break was cemented, Africa decided to test the composure of the three-time winner and their eager partner. A puncture put a rapid pause to the orange leader jersey blitz on the field. This run-in with the Untamed offering Team Spur the opportunity to charge. Langvad and Courtney showed why they compete at the highest level. The tyre was plugged and they were back up and running in next to no time. It wasn't long before Team Spur's early chase efforts started to have effects on their ability to recover.
Racing against Annika is obviously a very big task, and yeah, we've seen that those two are very strong. They rode really well today, but I must say Gita put in a huge effort in the beginning. She had a little mechanical and had to drop back and also chase back.
Langvad and Courtney remained on the horizon for Team Spur, just too far to reach. The Investex Ongo Specialised team claimed their first round in the battle that is the Cape Epic. Determined to keep the fight alive, Team Spur came charging across the finish line to claim second. While the day's racing had been exhilarating, the feeling that the stage was brutally tough was felt by all.
Last 20k is a little bit longer than you think it is always, but no, it was a good day. I mean, you've got a bit of everything. It's the first part of it. There was lots of single track, lots of sand, lots of rocks. So it was very easy to make a tiny mistake, 5 seconds. Tiny mistake, 5 seconds. So we just settled in, rode our race, and I'm really happy on the podium.
With climbs named Balboa, 1, 2, 3, Sucker Punch and Counter Punch, Stage 2 was designed to have riders against the ropes all day long. Even with a fun but tricky single-track section named Buzzvark, every inch was going to be hard-earned. This untamed land of jagged rocks and thorny bushes offering little respite to anyone, spectacular in its harshness. There were 3 teams battling out for the top step of the podium: Investec Songo Specialized, Team Spur and Silverback KNC. The trio remained together for the opening 80 kilometres, eyes attentively on each other. Just before the technical terrain, the decisive move came from Investec Songo Specialized, who pushed the tempo and left the others coughing in their dust. But this set the stage for a heated round of cat and mouse between Team Spur and Silverback KMC. With the African sun beating incessantly down, it looked as though Team Spur's Geet and Michel's would be the last of the 4 across the line, relegating them to 3rd place. But to the disbelief of Strauss and Last, a massive effort saw her speed around the side, securing 2nd place for Team Spur. This left her lying prone and glassy-eyed in the finish area. Would she be able to recover in time for the 3rd day of over 100 kilometres?
I felt really good today, but yeah, just the long distance, like the last 30 kilometers, I always feel like I'm running empty. I thought, yeah, just go full, you finish faster, and I kept going. I just gave everything I got.
This made it 3 days in a row that Annika Langvad and Kate Courtney had stormed away from their rivals. But every rider knows that things can change in an instant, and there's no time to rest until the very end. Stage 3, this year's longest day, and a trying one at that, due to a complete shift in the weather conditions and a 122 kilometre slog from Robertson to Worcester, where partnerships would be tested to their limits. Early in the stage was the first of 3-dimension data hotspots. To the first team across the line, a cash reward. Kate Courtney's Sparkle watts were put to good use as she drove the pace and crossed the hotspot first, this effort securing the prize for Investec Songo Specialized. With 40 kilometres left to race, Langvad and Courtney accelerated away from the rest of the field. The hastening left Lucy, Michel's and the resurgent Spitz into group, rapidly thumbing shifters and stamping on pedals to catch up. In the midst of their onslaught, Langvad and Courtney hit a sandy patch at speed. Not even pausing to dust sand off their faces, the duo were back on their bikes and charging away.
All of a sudden it turned a bit sandy and we were catching up with somebody that we wanted to overtake, but they just stood still in the sand and we both went flying, and yeah, we had to use a lot of power to get going again so we could pass them.
Team Spur and Descenders Health, although fierce rivals, worked together to chase their opponents through the thorn country. The 4-woman strong bunch battled side by side. In the end, and every woman for herself sprint saw Lucy and Michelle surge ahead and claim 2nd place.
I think we showed a really solid performance, and yeah, with Robin and Sabine we could work a bit together, which was really nice, and at the end, yeah, we managed to take the sprint.
Yet again, the day belonged to Investec Songo Specialized, claiming the top stand, proving that partnerships endure over even the most unpredictable obstacles.
Annika, while she is such a great champion, is also just a team player, and she really took care of me and made sure that I was within my limit. When I went over my limit, I got to ride the Annika Express home.
Moving to stage 4, the 4th consecutive day of over 100 kilometres. Riders who were still holding on to the hopes of standing atop the Cape Epic podium would need to make race-changing moves soon or run out of race. The Queen stage, with more than 100 kilometres of distance yet again, and 2 of the toughest climbs, a true battle royal. Usually the drama of this race unfolds once the stage has begun, but before the stage even started, Geeta Michel's was forced to retire.
Yeah, we're incredibly sad. I mean, she's such a fighter. I think it kind of came along already a little bit earlier. She isn't normally like fading towards the end. She's a really hard worker, and she's definitely got what it takes to do well in this race, you know, and she's someone who pushes herself very, very hard. I think we could all see that, and maybe she pushed herself a little bit too hard.
The withdrawal bumped Team Silverback KMC up to second place, the very same position they snatched on the last few days of last year's race, and Team Ascenders Health moved into third. Although the gap to the leaders was intimidatingly large, these two teams had shown in the past that it would be unwise for anyone ahead to rest on their laurels. Langvad celebrating her 34th birthday, and Courtney broke away from the pack on one of the stage's early climbs, even after Strauss and Last had traded their grins for grimaces and drove hard on the front for the opening period on the rough trails of Slanghurk. While Investec Songo Specialised appeared to have taken up throne on the podium's top step, Strauss and Last held a 9-minute advantage over De Groot and Spitz, and with Team Spur now out of the race, the fight for silver and bronze was set to be a brutal one for the remainder of the race. Stage 5, and riders awoke to a day of heart rate spikes as they'd be taken through a 39-kilometre time trial route. Teams left the start chute in reverse order, meaning that the top 3 teams would be let loose last to chase the clock and the time set by their predecessors. Langvad and Courtney's lead seemed out of reach at the beginning of the day, but that didn't mean that Ascenders Health and Team Silverback KMC weren't going to try and breathe down their rivals' necks. Spitz and De Groot were the first of the top 3 to complete the time trial route. Their perfectly balanced dynamic of power and precision allowed them to blitz through the trails, even after 4 days of fatigue.
Yeah, after 4 days of over 100 Ks, we expected it to be really tough, but we rode nicely together and paced ourselves well, and I think that paid in our favour.
This time trial, it's killing. And I was sure, so if we would go too hard at the beginning, you wouldn't manage to ride also nice in if you get actually to the technical parts, to technical climbs, and where you have some kicks, some power peaks, and I guess it was the right decision to ride smart.
Will the unstoppable Investec Songo Specialised team be able to keep it together, or would a door be left open for a Silverback KMC? Team Ascenders Health had clawed back valuable time and showed that their form was falling into place ahead of the final 2 stages. The day dawned on the penultimate stage. Racing at this level demands not only true grit but also self-management. Often the temptation is still to push beyond your limit, even with body spent and muscles aching. Untamed surprises come not only in the form of mechanicals but in the form of illness. This was the case with Marie Strauss, who had started to get sick overnight. But with the race doctor giving the go-ahead, she lined up next to last on the 76-kilometre stage.
Plans have changed a little bit, just trying to aim to get to the finish today.
Langvad and Courtney took the fight to the trails and charged relentlessly into Velvet Pass, and ultimately to yet another stage victory. This win made it 7 from 7. With Silverback KMC focusing on minimising casualties instead of pushing for the podium, silver and bronze were left to those who had the strength and stamina to grab them. Spitz and De Groot pounced and drove the pace hard through the Velvet Pass trails, their efforts moving them into second place overall. As Silverback KMC dipped into ever-depleting reserves, a new team seized their chance to be counted. PMRA CST Racing proved they shouldn't be left unwatched on the trail to Valderby as they sped in just behind Team Ascenders Health.
Yeah, today the strategy was try taking some time because we are in 6 in general. We want to fight for top 4. So tomorrow keep stronger for maybe finishing top 4. But it's really nice. I think now starts the good race because have more single tracks. The first day was too much power and less single track, so now we have more fun.
Maintaining their hold on the Absa African women's special jersey, Domakaba's Amy Beth McDougall and Candice Lill finished in 4th place, the pair looking poised and calm ahead of the final stage. With just 1 stage remaining, Raisa Gola was excited about the potential to claim another podium.
Yeah, I think tomorrow we start again with fresh mind. The first rule, just have fun, but ours keep in front, look in front for a good result. We know for general results it's really hard to keep top 3, but we start today to fight for bringing the top 4. So yeah, already we have some time for takeout. But I think the first will keep enjoying, and I hope much more trails tomorrow, and we'll see. I want to fight again for the podium.
67 kilometres remained in the 2018 Cape Epic. Was that enough distance to cause a final upset? The grand finale, a day when all eyes were on Investec Songo Specialized. Would they go all out to claim 8 stage victories, or just make their way home safely and claim the overall title? Marie Strauss dragged herself to the start line. Third place was still there for her and Annie last, if they could hold on to their lead over the ladies in red. Fourth place, Dormakaba. The PMRA CST racing team had a fiery determination burning in their eyes, even though they were almost 2 hours off the overall lead. The group remained together for the opening kilometres, but PMRA CST racing threw caution to the wind in pursuit of their very first Cape Epic stage win. The women's field was almost dazed by the attack, but Amy Beth McDougall and Candice Lill saw their chance to make a last stand and chased them down. With Silverback KMC just looking to survive, it was left to Team Ascenders Health to go head-to-head with the pair who'd been governing the race from the outset. De Groot and Spitz passed Investec Songo Specialized at the final Dimension Data hotspot and opened a gap that would remain unchallenged. From the top of the final climb, riders could see the finish, but before they'd get there, they'd needed to make their way safely down one final technical terrain. Safely through, PMRA CST Racing charged to a career-changing win of their first ever Cape Epic stage in an emotional fashion. Just 3 minutes behind them was the Absa African Women's Special jersey wearers, Team Dormakaba, ecstatic that they'd ridden themselves into their first podium position and held onto their red jersey. Third place on the stage and second overall was secured by Team Ascenders Health.
We are very happy to have in the GC the second position. It was a week with up and downs, and the specialized team was very, very strong. Thank you to Robs, because she was tracking me the last days because I didn't feel very well.
Yeah, we super chuffed. I think the way we started and the way we handled ourselves through the week was really good. We had a little bit of stress this morning, woke up sick, but yeah, we're happy with second. To get things right, it just seems like it really takes a lot for things to flow, but it tests your character, and it takes a lot. I think some partnerships would be destroyed with things like that, but I feel that Sabine and I work well together, and yeah, somehow we get through things, we stay calm. And one day it will run smoothly and we'll add no entertainment.
Investec Songo Specialized rode in shortly after, safe in the knowledge their overall lead remained unchanged.
This race is very special in many ways because it takes so much preparation. It also takes a lot of avoiding bad luck, and it takes a team to make this race, to win this race. We have a massive support team behind us. We have our mechanics, our soigneurs, all the people behind us who make this possible, and it for sure makes a difference, and we just have to go out and ride our bikes every single day, and that's what we do.
Yeah, it's been a very emotional finish and a really great accomplishment for me. I think, mountain biking is usually a pretty individual sport, and for me this was a huge team effort. If you set a really crazy goal and work really hard towards it, it is possible, and especially with a team like we have.
653 grueling kilometres of the 2018 Cape Epic done, and the final standing saw Team Silverback KMC retain third place. Team Ascenders Health, who overcame early anguishes, were rewarded with second. And raising the women's category trophy after 29 hours and 57 minutes was Team Investec Songo Specialized's Anika Langvad and Kate Courtney. This year's racing once again proved that while every precaution can be taken and every situation analysed ahead of time, anything can happen in the Absa Cape Epic. It is the untamed African mountain bike race.